I need all of your attention real quick because this video is going to be one of the most important when it comes to law enforcement accountability. His name was Salaythis Melvin. He was gunned down by an Orange County Sheriff's deputy in Florida whose name is James Ruben Montiel. Salaythis Melvin's story is like so many other black men. However, the law enforcement officer who shot this man turns out to be a child predator. I don't have a mugshot for this particular law enforcement officer, but the Orange County deputy accused of possessing CP has been arrested, and he's on leave without pay, according to the sheriff's office. Corporal James Ruben Montiel, not exactly a beat cop. This man was out here with this type of CSAM material. He was originally hired in 2006. That means that if you're caught with this by another law enforcement agency, I'm going to assume that you've been watching this material since 2006 or even before that, but at least since 2006. Folks, we're in 2024. That means that potentially this man has been a child predator with a badge for 18 years. Because if you're caught with it one time, it's just like roaches, you always assume there's more. Salaythis Melvin lost his life at 23 years old because of a child predator. And you know what's interesting about this child predator? And I want to highlight some things. Salaythis Melvin was shot in the back. He was with somebody else who was not exactly the most kosher person, but he was shot in the back by James Montiel, the child predator. Shot in the back. This is the closest that we have to James Montiel in terms of a mugshot. This man gunning down a black man. Same man who is now accused of being a child predator. And this matches a very, very unique pattern in Florida because what we see is officers like Josu Garriga. Josu Garriga was another officer in Florida who gunned down this man, Jamie Johnson. Josu Garriga worked for the Jacksonville County Sheriff's Office, gunned down Jamie Johnson, right? And now the same Josu Garriga is locked up because he has someone who's under the age of 18. This man is also a child predator. What is it with Florida having officers of the law who gun down black people? You won't do anything about it, and then we find out they're child predators. You don't see a pattern here? You don't find that weird? You don't find that strange? You don't find that suspicious? That's not odd to you? Here, let me show you something that should be odd to you then. This man was also, James Montiel, was also accused of domestic violence in 2016, because it's something that law enforcement officers are known to do. This man was accused of this in 2016, and nothing was done about it. Just like with Josu Garriga, the other officer in Jacksonville County, Florida, who was texting with white officers and making racial stereotypes against black people. This man who's clearly black, but if you notice the last name Garriga, well, you can tell that he's not linked to the lineage of foundational black Americans or freedmen or the black descendants of American slaves right here. You can see Josu Garriga here from this text here. It says, why are they recognizing that clown? They're talking about Jamie Johnson, the man that he gunned down. You come back over here and you see the same thing. You get this Florida deputy, James Montiel, who guns down a black man. And just like in the case of Josu Garriga, child predator, and then with James Montiel, child predator. Why is it that there's no justice when an officer guns down a black man or when an officer beats on his wife, but you gotta catch them being a child predator? Now you're understanding why problem officers like the one who gunned down Sonia Massey, now you see why they exist. And the only way that we know these officers are child predators is when they're caught. Suppose he was never caught. You and I both know, you watching this video, look me in the face right now, you know a child predator who just hasn't been caught yet. And the question becomes, was his ex-wife or current wife, I'm not sure, was she telling the truth when she was talking about him? That's the question now. Because I can almost assure you she didn't get any justice. It's her word against a police officer. They took his word when he gunned someone down. Do you think they gave her a fair shot? Because if you do, then I want you to look at this arrest warrant here. This affidavit for arrest warrant. There it is. So they acquitted him for shooting that black man. They said it was okay. They said there was nothing wrong with that. Salaythis Melvin lost his life to a child predator. Salaythis Melvin lost his life to a child predator, and so did Jamie Johnson. So to all the people out there who supports police officers, I want to say something to you. I will support everyone who is shot by the cops if you can support your child predators. Acab 1312.